Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are in the Montana, but this is not Montana Madness. I just want to throw that out there. This is a double feature because I was gonna do Montana Madness tonight, I promise. And then I played two games. Both games are worth playing, or both games are worth showcasing. So I figure, why not just do a Montana double feature, not a Montana Madness, just straight up a Montana double feature and talk about why I love this ship so much. And how I have been given nothing but happiness in the two games that I played today. And I cannot possibly convince myself to play even more, just knowing that from there, it's all downhill. So, with that being said, let's get into our commander. We're running Azure Lane, New Jersey, with Arthas the Cold, obviously, and Azure Lane, Colorado as our inspirations. We are running Flammable Cannoneer, Gyrating Drill Bits, On Second Thought, Don't You Just Love It, and Fight Fire with Fire as our commander skills. For our loadout, we are running AA Guns Mod 2. We are running Steering Gears Mod 2. We are running Concealment System Mod 1, and we are running the Legendary Artillery Plotting Room Mod 2. Now, you don't have to go Legendary Plotting Room on the Montana, but I do at least recommend going with the Epic module, and because I don't consider that the Legendary versions are worth going all that extra, whatever you steal, right? So, highly recommend getting the Epic and just leaving it at that. I only go with this because I'm trying to get 300k and I need every little bit of damage I can get, right? But with that being said, let's just not beat around the bush. We got a double feature episode for you guys. Let's get straight out there and talk about why I love this ship. Alrighty, so we're going to be on Two Brothers in the very first episode, or very first thing. I do apologize for the guy talking in the background. I'm going to have him pushed in on mute initially. But as you can see, first thing I do when I get into a match, I check out the team comps, right? I'm not looking for names when I do this, by the way. So if you ever ask me, oh, do you remember if I got in that game with you? The answer is probably going to be no, because I generally don't look. Sometimes I'll see a name that jumps out to me that I recognize, but most of the time I'm just looking at the ships and what we're up against, right? So first thing you're going to notice, it's a domination match. I spawned out on the flank, right? So as much as I love going middle, I'm not going to abandon my flank on a domination match in order to go mid, right? That's a stupid play. I don't care how much fun it is going up the middle. It's a dumb play to leave your flank to go up the middle. Now, if you spawn mid and you want to go up the middle, it's my job as the flank to try to hold my side so that the enemy keeps their attention out here so that you can do your job by drawing people back and being able to limit who can shoot you, right? That's the whole point of the middle rush. A lot of people don't understand how the middle works on this map. It's not always going to work perfectly. But if your team is able to hold the flanks and you go up the middle, you are in a prime position to be a huge help for your team. But if your flanks collapse, not so much. So anyway, with all of that being said, this match is not about damage. This is one of those matches that I live for. I love these type of games. Now, I could have taken that shot on the Rhode Island. Probably should have taken that shot on the Rhode Island. But there is a little bit to be said about holding your fire and engaging on your own terms, right? Like, if I'd have fired there, I'd have got detected. I don't know what else is out there. I know there's a Rhode Island, right? But I don't know what else is out there. There's usually at least 3 people that spawn on this side, and sure enough, there's a second Rhode Island over here. And there turns out to be a incomparable over here as he gets spotted coming in from the middle. But that still leaves one person that hasn't been spotted over here, which means there's a good chance that one of the 2 destroyers is over here, right? Process of elimination. Use our brains. It could be a cruiser, but it's more than likely a destroyer as we get both of the enemy cruisers spotted on the left flank. So, with all that being said, we have a Yama. Yama's going to make the critical error that every Yamato player makes. He's close to the island, but the problem is he's pulling out to shoot at the guys on the left, which means he is flat broadside to an Incomparable and a Rhode Island, both fully capable of sending him to the Shadow Realm in one salvo. And he eats the price of it, right? Now, don't judge the man too harshly. We've all done it. We've all done it. We see in our head, oh, we can come around the corner. And then before we know it, we've lost all of our health, right? We've all done it. But I will give him a credit where credit is due. He fights through adversity. After losing 3/4 of his health in the opening salvo that he took, he's actually going to stay in the fight, and continue to be a problem for the entire fight, which is more than I can say for most people, even when they're full health. So, again, I couldn't have had this match had it not been for my teammates. That includes this Marceau. Now, I ain't gonna lie. When I saw the Yama take 2/3 of his health in immediately, and then I see the Marceau taking and getting in a fight with a Rhode Island at close range, I'm very much against this. But we can't account for what the team's going to do, right? Like, all we can do is do our best to give our team the best chance. And right now, I'm doing a pretty good job of absorbing damage. I'm a little too broadside, but I don't have a choice. I'm trying to turn back in. I was initially in a kiting position because we had to wait to see what we were up against. And now that I'm coming back in, now I'm in a position where I'm going to be able to stay angled, keep all my guns on target as best I can, and help the team. And we get a huge shot straight through the bow of the Rhode Island, sending him to the Shadow Realms, preserving our Marceau's hit points for something that he can be potentially useful later, as we see the Kitakaze in a smokescreen shooting at our Yamato. Now, as about this time, I think I get into the chat and I'm like, hey, Marceau, now's your chance. We've got the Kitakaze in a smokescreen. He's going to try to capture the base. The Incomparable's behind the island. The Rhode Island is behind the island. If you can get in there and spot, you have at least a Montana and a Yamato that can help you shoot the Kitakaze, right? So I'm going to try to close the distance as best I can in order to be as close as possible so that I get the maximum amount of shells on target so that I can help him as best I can. Now watch, as soon as I go to shoot at this Incomparable, because I don't want to right away, because I just told the man that I was going to help him kill the Destroyer, right? But seeing how much damage the Incomparable takes and the fact that he's trying to reverse, I go ahead and shoot Superstructure as he's trying to reverse, and then hoping that I can get reloaded before this guy gets into a fight with the Destroyer. Unfortunately, we don't get the best RNG in the world. We managed to hit 4 shells on his turret face or something and managed to do no damage hardly at all. But the good news is the Destroyer's not spotted yet. But we are, meaning we're going to start getting shot at, which is fine. I don't have a problem getting shot at. Destroyer can shoot me all he wants. That's just giving away his position. He's sitting in a smoke screen, firing his guns. Could be easily torpedoed, but unfortunately, I don't think he ends up getting torpedoed. What does happen, though, is our guy gets himself spotted because he's shooting his fucking guns at the goddamn Montana again. But Kitakaze comes out of the smoke screen, and we're going to go ahead and take a shot at him, and we are going to get a solid hit on him. Over 6,000 damage, or about 6,000 damage on him. We are able to then immediately send that man to the Shadow Realm with the help of the Incomparable behind me. So I have a Yamato, I have an Incomparable, and now I am here in a situation where I get the bow tank and spot for my team in the Rhode Island. Now, as far as the Marceau is concerned, other than shooting at the Rhode Island and giving his position away when he's supposed to be going after the Destroyer, I don't have a problem with him dying in that engagement. A trade is like worst case, or the best worst outcome. Does that make sense? Like, it's like the best worst outcome. If you're going to be in that situation and you're going in to do that, highly recommend you just don't fire your guns and let yourself get into the position to counter the Destroyer rather than firing your guns at a battleship where you're not going to do much of anything and then you're just getting shot at by the Destroyer in a smokescreen, right? Just silly. There's no reason to take that extra damage. Who knows? Maybe he would have survived had he not done that. But here we get a beautiful looking shot through the bow of the Rhode Island, and we get 5 hits on the bow. Remember, we overmatch him. We know we overmatch him, so we're going to take every advantage we can get. And you can see this is a secondary build Rhode Island. He's firing his guns, his secondaries at me. It might not be a secondary build. It could be. But, I mean, we're inside 9 kilometers, and I can't remember. I think it starts with 7.5 kilometers of range, right? So I'm going to assume it's a secondary build. But here we get a terrible shot. But look at all the shells coming in from either the Yama or the Incomparable. I think that was Incomparable. You can see Incomparable is pushing up on their Incomparable while also maintaining shots on the Rhode Island. Now, in order to help him out, I'm going to do the same. When you see a teammate advancing, you help them advance, right? I'm not going to leave him out to dry. I'm not going to let everybody focus him. I'm going to come around the corner and help him out. Now, Incomparable is bow tanking. We come around the corner. We got all 4 guns ready to go. We've got an Arthas button just in case, so we shoot at Superstructure and we're able to finish him off. Just to guarantee as many hits as possible so that we get as much damage as possible to send him to the Shadow Realm. And you can see our teammate is now shooting at the Rhode Island. Again, this is what I'm talking about. Being able to put yourself in positions to help your teammates and having teammates that are able to help you. It's a crazy concept, but that's about to come to a full circle. You can see he's actually got a gun blown up too. which is rough. But we're going to put some rounds through the bow of his ship and make sure that he doesn't survive long enough. Really? That's the moment you give him a fire? Talk about every stereotype under the sun. Guaranteed, man. But we're going to push in, grab the Delta Cap. Our Incomparable is going to push around into the Bravo Cap. We have a Mino there as well, and you can see that the Bravo Cap is actually contested, which means the other destroyer is in the Bravo Cap. We know it's the destroyer before he even gets spotted, because the other guys are spotted over here at Charlie. Now, right now, our Ohio is in a situation where he's in trouble. But the Sharky goes down to the Mino. Unfortunately, he also takes out the Mino, which means this game's closer than it seems, because there's a lot of people that don't have a lot of hit points. We've got an Ohio over here standing on his head. By the way, shout out to Heavy in the Yama. Shout out to, well, unfortunately, Rhode Island goes down. But shout out to Energistics, and shout out to, Omni Vendetta as well. Everybody that was talking here, well, I say talking, they weren't talking to me, they were in chat, or they were in their party. But they all sent me messages after the fact as well. So shout out to all those guys. Thank you for the support. But right now, I am telling the Yamato, hey, dude, I'm on my way. I will take the fire off of you so that you can be behind the island as best you can. If you can just survive long enough. And I'm saying the same thing so that the Ohio knows that I'm on my way. I'm trying to get there. I am going to help this man as best I can. But you can see, unfortunately, the Hindenburg has his eyes on our Yamato. He's also got torpedoes on our Ohio. Now, the good news is Yamato swings and slaps that Hindenburg straight in the kisser, sending him straight to the Shadow Realm, which is great, because now it's just a 2-on-3, right? Again, these guys are lower health, but the Ohio has the ability to get his heals back quickly. I don't know how much damage he took before this initial engagement. So if we can just keep him alive, we've got a chance, right? Now, we've got the points lead. We don't have to do anything crazy here. But at the same time, I mean, I can't pass up this. This is why we come back to help our teammates. Look at this crossfire. People ask all the time, where do you get these broadsides? Because I worked for them. And that was a bad shot by me. If I'd have recognized that he was slowing down, that's a dead Sevastopol in one salvo. But unfortunately, I fired at his bow, expecting him to continue the push. And he's lucky he gets to survive a little bit longer. Unfortunately for my Ohio, who is kind of getting beat up a little bit by everybody. But the Ohio's got multiple fires going on the Sevastopol as well. You can see I'm looking at potential crossfire on the Ohio, and then I go ahead and I take a shot to finish off the Sevastopol just to get him out of here. Knowing full well that the Ohio's likely to shoot me here, no big deal. He swings, he hits me for a couple of overpins, fires too high. Most likely he had to aim high because he couldn't shoot over the island. He's a little bit too close. But as I push in, I'm already in the chat telling everybody my intentions. And that is simple, that I'm going to ram this Ohio. Straightforward, that's it. There are moments where ramming is acceptable. This is one of those moments. My team has the points lead. I have somebody left. There is no reason for me to get into a brawl with this guy. Because at that point, it's a crapshoot, right? Could happen to anybody. But you can see my Incomparable goes through the middle after capturing the bases. He gets a shot on the Ohio, but this guy's over. You can see we're going to hit the horn, and we kissy face with him, getting our So that was a lot of fun, I ain't gonna lie. That match was one of those that comes down to the wire, and it was such good cooperation from teammates. More medals than a North Korean general, again. Like it seemed like all the time. 3,400 base XP. I love this ship. Its survivability, its volume of fire, its accuracy, its pen, like, it's just the perfect battleship, in my opinion. Like, it really is perfect. Like, everybody can talk about their big guns and stuff like that. I don't need the biggest guns. You give me a Montana, I'll give you a Fit. And this game is going to point that out perfectly, because this is my favorite map. If you guys have been around this map long enough, you know that this is one of my favorite maps in the entire game. Always has been. I just enjoy this map. For a battleship player, this map is heaven. Heaven! There are so many crossfire opportunities in this map because everybody's relatively close. We're in a legendary tier ship, so everybody's within firing range right out the gate. So all we got to do is get them spotted, and you can see I get into chat right out the gate to let the guys on the right know what my plan is. And I straight up tell them, I spawned in my favorite position on my favorite map. I am going to move up to the middle of the front cap, front of our cap, in order to provide a crossfire for the right side. Why? Because everybody plays this map the same way every fucking time. Now, I do also get on to Shima a little bit. I was like, hey, Shima, do you want to go over to the left side of the map away from where our destroyer already is so that you can, you know, spot for that side? Just a thought. But he's not going to. At least not yet, anyway. But Rhode Island comes out, and, you know, I talk about the ship all the time with its volume, its accuracy, its armor-penetrating shells. This is a prime example. Now, Rhode Island's not a particularly armored ship, but Arthas has something to say about this Rhode Island's health. Yeet! Nothing makes you giggle quite like sending somebody straight to the Shadow Realm with one shot. Nothing. There is nothing in this game that will. And this is why I move up to this position, because they always do this. Every time. If you spawn in the middle right of this spawn, and you just move forward. I'm not saying you got to rush the middle. Just move forward a little bit. Get some shots, crossfires on this. Your destroyer spawns over there. He's going to spot for you. And it's just Yeet City. And in 2 salvos, we have 104,000 damage. Not too many ships are going to be pulling 104,000 damage in 2 shots. Alright? Now, right here, right as I'm about to get loaded, unfortunately he does disappear. But the good news is, he actually gets spotted again because he fires his guns. So we get another shot. So let's see how much damage we have after 3 salvos, shall we? Now, it's about this time that I actually get spotted. And you may have noticed that there's an enemy Rhode Island pushing in through the left gap. This is another thing that people like to do on this map. They get impatient, and they YOLO. And YOLOing is very bad for your health, because there are a lot of guns that can see you. Now, if you're in a ship going mid like this, maybe pay attention to the person who's just been spotted. Because this poor Rhode Island is about to learn exactly what happened to the other Rhode Island that was broadside, only he only gets 2 turrets. If I had my rear guns available, he's a dead man. If I had Arthas available, he's a dead man. Unfortunately, I have neither, so he lives. Because in true Spartan fashion, well, he got away with a little bit more than that, but you get it. But I want you guys to pay attention to what I do next. I've already completely decimated the right flank. That Preussen over there is running. Marceau is selling out what he's doing. And shout out to my freaking cruiser here for having, I think, his sonar running right now, because this Marceau comes around the corner. He's already spotted. I have Arthas, and of course, in true Spartan fashion, we leave him with just enough to continue being a problem. Speaking of problem, how long does it take a man to shoot somebody they've had spotted? Like, come on, Michelangelo, get on the clock. You were the one that was spotting him. You couldn't have your guns ready to shoot him? But his secondaries do finish him off, and we take 4 torpedoes from the Marceau. Thankfully, they're not Kleber torps or Shima torps, because we managed to survive that, and we're able to walk away from it banged and battered, but alive. Now, this is going to be some classic window. This is what I'm talking about with all these little crossfire opportunities. This Dalian has no idea this is coming. Unfortunately, we only hit the 1 shell. He gets real lucky, because if he's bow taking me, that's prime opportunity for a Montana to send a Dalian straight to the Shadow Realm, because I will overmatch and I will hurt you. But he gets away with it this time. Again, had to auto-aim that because can't see them. So we just send it out there and hope for the best. But Michelangelo manages to finish off what we started with the Rhode Island, who probably uninstalled the game after I slapped him with the front 2 turrets. And then Dalian, again, look at these crossfire. This is what I'm talking about. People don't pay attention to these moments. And we hit him again. Now, he gets real lucky that time not to be sent to the Shadow Realm, but he's still alive for the time being. Our Schlieffen is pushing in. Now, I got to shout out the Schlieffen in this one, because I ended up chatting with this guy for the entire game. It was just good time, just chit-chatting. He watches the channel, had a good time. But anyway, we're going to try to get some shots on the Louisiana over the top of the island. We're at 216,000 damage, y'all. And there's only 3 ships dead. But we get a shot at the Louisiana. Unfortunately, not a whole lot of damage there. Again, have to auto-aim over top of a mountain. He's got an armored deck. You're not hoping for a lot of damage there, but you'll take what you can get, right? Unfortunately, Dalian is in a position where I can't really do anything about it. We do get the assist on the Louisiana as the, I think it was the Hindenburg that finished him off. But Dalian's not long for this world either. You can see there is a Rhode Island over here, but unfortunately, I don't really have a shot here either. But this is what I'm talking about with this ship. Like, as long as you have your like wits about you and you're paying attention. Look, this guy knows. Look at him shooting through the window. See what I'm saying? Window shoppers. This is what we're talking about. pay attention to these little opportunities because they will make or break you as a player. And what I mean is, if you don't understand that those spots exist for a reason, they're not there by accident. They're there for a reason. Wargaming spends a lot more time than they probably should designing maps. Oh, by the way, they decided to go forward, so we missed all of our shells on the Rhode Island. But Wargaming doesn't just willy-nilly throw out new maps. They actually do spend quite a bit of time designing like avenues of approach and stuff like that on their maps. So I got to give a shout out where they are due. But the same can be said about some of the other crappy maps. Like it doesn't always work out. You know, their ideas are fine until they're not. But this is one of those maps that I just always fell in love with. This is such a good map for being able to get into crossfires and really put some nasty hits on people who just do not know that it's coming. And these little windows are everywhere on this map. And so you got to learn. And this map makes it blatantly obvious that these windows exist, right? Like, they're on every map. You just have to find them and take advantage of them when you have the opportunity. But look at that. 6 rounds. By the way, we hit 10 of our 12 rounds on that frickin' Marceau to leave them with just enough to get away, right? But anyway, like this is why I love this ship. It's got the survivability. It's got the hard-hitting guns. It's got the firepower. Like, you can't... I don't know, man. There's just nothing bad about the Montana. And I don't understand why the Montana gets so much hate, because it's such a good ship. And you can build it different ways. You can build it like I've got for damage. You can build it for accuracy. Again, this isn't even a full accuracy build, which I don't think you need to necessarily go with a full accuracy build on Montana, given the fact that we have the epic artillery plotting room. So every 30,000 damage you do gives you more accuracy, right? So with all of that being said, I still think that Montana's still one of the absolute goats of legendary tier, and I know that I'm in the like bottom of the barrel when it comes to people saying, "Oh, Spartan, he loves the Montana. The Montana's actually such crap." Then I must be the best player on the planet, because I am so goddamn consistent in this ship. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just one of those things where I get along with a ship. Like, there are going to be ships like that where I may say that the ship is something that I don't really care for, and then you go out and take it out and you're like, "Oh my god, I love this ship." You know, everybody's playstyle varies. Everybody has a different aggression level, and some ships play better to different aggression levels. And so that's why I try to tell everybody to play everything, man. Play everything. You don't have to spend money on the game. You got hundreds of ships to choose from that are tech tree ships. You've got the Bureau that you can not spend a dime on and actually get stuff that way. Like, there's not a single reason to spend money on this game. You've got free-to-play commanders. Hell, when I first started this game, commanders weren't even guaranteed to not be duplicates, right? Like, when you're first starting out, you were opening containers or commander crates, and you were like, "Oh, look, I got this. I didn't want this commander." Yeah, you know how many goddamn George Deweys I got? There's a reason T-Bull made it into a fucking meme about George Dewey, right? Back in the day, we got duplicates all the time, and they didn't give you crap. You weren't guaranteed to get the commanders that you were looking for. But another fantastic game. Almost 3K base, back-to-back. What more can you ask for, guys? Again, I played 2 games tonight. You just saw both of those games in the Montana. Are they all out of this world crazy games? No. But they were fun. And in my day and age, if I have fun, I call it a night. So if you like what I'm doing, punch a like button, leave it a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.